The Nashville Predators absolutely cooked in day one of free agency, making 4 massive signings. And we're going to go through and break all this down and what the new look Predators look like coming up on this episode of Hat-Trick HQ. But with that said, Mark, let's just jump right into it here. Barry Trotz cooked, and did he ever? We love Barry Trotz. I mean, this guy went out and just did the unthinkable and pulled off some amazing signings for this Nashville Predators team that may push them into Stanley Cup contention. I mean, if we just take a look at the tweet from Pierre LeBrun here, he said, as reported earlier, now a done deal. Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Shea all agree to terms in Nashville. Stamkos coming in at 4 years, $8 million AAV. Marchessault coming in at 5 years, $5.5 million AAV. And Brady Shea coming in 7 years by $7 million AAV. And we're not done there, Mark. And if we just look here from Frank Seravalli, they signed goaltender Scott Wedgwood on a 2-year deal to back up behind UC Saros. And as Frank says here, he says it's going to be Saros and Wedgewall backstop in Smashville next year. And Mark, I mean, oh my God, I was not expecting this today. I wasn't expecting Barry Trotz to go out there and make these huge signings like he did. Well, every time I was getting updates on my phone after update, Nashville signing this guy, Nashville signing that guy, and I couldn't believe it. And what a team this looks like going into next season.
Yeah, because Barry Trotz really went into this offseason where he said, hey, we need to add offense. We have a lot of cap space, as you can tell with how many signings they made. But they said they wanted to add offense to this roster, and they do that in a guy like Stamkos and Marchessault. 2 of these guys are Stanley Cup champions. They have the pedigree. They know what it takes to win. Bringing in these 2 guys that had scored 40 goals just this last season, they've been outstanding in the NHL. It adds offense to their already top-end talent of Ryan O'Reilly, Forsberg. You have Yossi on the back end. Carrier just got extended. This team is looking to make a run. They extend UC Saros into the offseason as well. This was a team that played in the first round versus the Vancouver Canucks, and they're going to go back, and it would not expect me, just kind of make me, I wouldn't expect them not to go any deeper this year. I think they could be a second or third round team with how they built this with veteran leadership. They still have young guys. They have the goaltending. They have the defensemen. This is a team that's going to make noise in the NHL this season, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what they couldn't do was be successful in the playoffs. They've always had that team. They've always been right there on the cusp of being, a dominant franchise. And now it seems like, they just threw the playbook out the window and said, we need to go get guys who are going to help us in the playoffs. And what do? They go out and get Steven Stamkos, who was the captain of Tampa for so many years, and he knows how to get it done in the playoffs. I mean, he's coming off the back of an 80-point season, so obviously he can get it done in the regular season, but when it comes playoff time, it's like him and Marchessault, both of these guys just turn on another switch, and they just are clutch players. I mean, Jonathan Marchessault going on a huge run in the playoffs when Vegas won the Stanley Cup just last season, winning the Conn Smythe. I mean, this is 2 huge additions to this team, and especially Brady Shea, adding him back there. You can't glance over that guy as well. $7 million. Do I think it may be a little bit of an overpay here? I think so, but I think he is that good of a defenseman that in a couple years' time, maybe we'll look back on this and say, hey, yeah, he's definitely worth that amount of money. But I really love the ads they made here. And Mark, if we just take a look at what this new look Predators team looks like, I mean, oh my God, Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Marchessault as their top line. I mean, that is unreal. Then they have Stamkos alongside Novak and Evangelista. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And you look at their deep pairing, they have Roman Josi, obviously one of the best defenders in the league, in my opinion, with Fabro, and then newly acquired Brady Shea alongside Shen. And Mark, when you look at this roster, I mean, this is probably the best Nashville Predators roster we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, no, they're looking for that deep run. And like you were going through those lines, they have a lineup from top to end that can produce, can play. We've seen a bunch of these guys just last season for Nashville in the playoffs, making the Canucks really get up against their backs. It put the Canucks almost in a chokehold. Obviously, they did end up losing the series, but they did put up a good fight. adding this extra firepower, adding the better defense, having Roman Yossi that was just a Norris candidate. This team is going to make noise, and I'm quite excited just to see how all these pieces fit together. It's kind of weird to feel, but it seems like Nashville is becoming a destination that a lot of free agents want to go to. If you like cowboy boots, if you like music, everything's bigger in Texas, so go down to Nashville, and it seems like we're going to see a trend of a lot more players heading down there.
Yeah, I mean, Nashville's just an unbelievable city. I mean, we hear people, going to Nashville all the time, like, especially, was it this season or last season they may have had the All-Star game or the draft there or something like that, and everybody who went down there enjoyed the city. They said it was a great atmosphere, and that plays into a lot when you're a hockey player going to, a city that's going to be fun to live in, and I think this played a big factor into this, and also, a big factor is winning a Stanley Cup in Nashville. A lot of players have wanted to do that, and they couldn't get the job done, but now it seems like with this roster that they have put together, and still with, free agency still going on, those little odds and ends that they will add in there is definitely going to propel them up in the power rankings, in my opinion, and you can't glance over Scott Wedgwood. I mean, this guy has been a solid backup for a very, very long time, and that's one thing that I think UC Saros was missing. Obviously, we know how good he is. He's a dominant goaltender. He's a dominant number one. But, Askarov, yes, he's a good goalie and that, but, I think getting Wedgwood in, a guy who is a veteran, he knows, you know what you're getting with him, is definitely going to play a big deal into this as well, especially if injury does arise.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have the elite goaltending. I mean, just last season in Dallas, we've seen Wedgwood take the starting role when Ottinger went down, and he played phenomenal for him. So when you have a two-headed monster in him and Saros, who's coming off the fresh extension, and Wedgwood coming off the fresh signing, I think they're going to be one of the best tandems in the league. And I wouldn't be surprised if this team made it to maybe the Western Conference Finals this season. The second round, it's almost guaranteed. With the way they played in the first round last year, adding these guys are just going to make them so much better. Smashville, you got a great team there. There's a lot to cheer for. And it wouldn't surprise me if Barry Trotz isn't done yet. We might see Askren ask for a trade if he doesn't think he'll get into the pipes because of a guy like Saros and Wedgwood. And this could just add more talent to your win now mode to help them win the Stanley Cup eventually.
Yeah, I mean, what a day won by Barry Trotz. I mean, I think they won the day, in my opinion. I think with these, 4 massive signings, I mean, there isn't really any other team out there. Yes, a lot of teams added some great players, but when you're looking at it all, I think that Nashville is on top right now of what they pulled off today. What an amazing day for Barry Trotz, and Nashville Predators fans, you should be extremely excited because you're going to have some fun hockey to watch this year. We want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section about, Nashville's day. Do you think they won the day? If not, who do you think won free agency day 1? Let us know down below in the comment section. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today, Mark, goes to Wounded Warrior. And Mark, I don't really know about this one, but he says KC looks like Max Domi's brother. I mean, Mark, like, what is he talking about? Can you see it at all?
I can see a tiny bit, especially being a Habs fan. Maybe you're just starting to look towards him when he was there.
Yeah. I know. I miss Max Domi in Montreal. I mean, you guys are enjoying him there in Toronto, and what a deal for Max Domi. We gotta say it again. But shout out to you, Wounded Warrior, for showing your support here on the channel. And if you guys want to be featured on the next comment today, make sure to go down below, leave a comment about hockey, about who we look like. We'll talk about it all here on the channel. And if you want to keep up to date on everything that's to come this offseason, more free agency videos will be coming out today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you want to check out a video we did on an earlier signing, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host KC alongside my co-host Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.